Alright everyone, welcome back. This is the second Q&A that I'm doing on here. It's a little bit overdue. Perhaps I'll do them more often, but here we are. Now, most of the questions that I'm answering are off Instagram. I did some Q&As on there, so I'm going to go through those, and then there's a few from YouTube as well. But let's get started. Let's have some fun. Okay. Ben Mather asks, does actively training core help you brace harder? Well, actively training your core, gives you the potential to brace harder, yes. However, you still need to know how to brace your core appropriately for what you're doing. That is a whole skill within itself, so the answer would be potentially yes, as long as you know how to actively brace. 2 Dank asks, how much tren should I pin into my Johnson? Well, my honest answer is none. Most people, 99.999% of people, can't handle tren and probably shouldn't touch it. In my experience, after 2 or 3 weeks on tren, I start feeling like the Joker, and not in a funny sense. I'm not the most stable person at the best of times. That exasperates every single problem that you have, and most people have fucking issues, especially people who do powerlifting, who do bodybuilding. We do this sort of training, in a sense, we start because it helps with our mental health. But tren, that is a very, let's call it a special compound because its rewards are so high, but the risks and the downfalls of it still somehow outweigh the benefits. So, to answer that, you should pin 0 tren into your Johnson. Okay. Dinky Dynamite Strongman asks, any advice on overcoming someone who tried to ruin you? Trying to reinvent myself, he says. Now, people are always going to bring you down. You probably noticed it in certain parts of your life when you have started to succeed. Certain vampiric people will latch onto you and try and hold you back. They might guilt you, they might say you've changed, and you probably have changed for the better. So you need to not give a fuck about people who do not add value to your life. Do you know what I mean? If people are actively bringing you down because they don't want to see you succeed because they're too fucking lazy, you don't need them, okay? So you're trying to reinvent yourself, focus on yourself. Stop focusing on the outside, come back within, okay? Everybody probably needs to hear this. Everybody's very concerned with what is outside, people's opinions and distractions. Stop worrying about either of those. Focus on yourself, set yourself goals, and focus on doing the steps it takes to achieve them. You will then be happy, successful, and you honestly will not give a fuck if anyone's bringing you down because you're probably going to gravitate towards other people that are successful and have the same mindset as you. Okay. Brock Smith 12 asks, when/where is your next comp? PS, look forward to your content each day. Love it. Thank you, Brock. I appreciate that. Now, my next comp is in Queensland at Reaper Strength Cartel. The comp is called Revenant. It is a capo meet. Now, this is my first competition since early 2020. The last time I competed was February 2020. I totaled 1,050 kilograms in the 140 kilogram weight class. And, that's something that I want to get beyond. Okay, now, it won't be at this meet. I've set myself a plan You know, I have a 6-month plan, a 12-month plan, and an 18-month plan. It's going to take me time to get back there, but the foundation that I'm building now is going to be and is much stronger than the foundations that I had before. I'm going to blow that out of the fucking water. 1,100 kilos is coming. Mark my fucking words. Okay. Bring Back the Plague asks, what would you say is the most important thing when trying to build strength? There are a couple of things that you're going to need if you want to get strong, real strong. Discipline, meaning you're going to do things even when you don't want to fucking do them. If you don't want to go to the gym, you're going to go to the gym because that is one of your goals. Your goal is to get strong. How do you get strong? You go to the fucking gym. You're going to eat your food. You're not going to complain about it. It's going to be uncomfortable, but you're going to understand this is what needs to be done. And you're going to make sacrifices in your social life because you got to get sleep. Okay, you can't be out fucking around and partying. Unfortunately, you're going to have to get 8 hours of rest tonight. If you truly want to be fucking strong, you know, it's one of the most important things. Secondly is consistency. You must do this for a long period of time. Not a week, not a month, fucking not even a year. Do it for 5 years. Do it for 10 years. See what happens. Discipline and consistency equals fucking growth, equals results. Practice those things. Again, stop thinking outside. Come back here. Make yourself promises. Have discipline and be consistent. And you will get strong. Fuck it. You will achieve anything you want to fucking achieve if you can apply those 2 things. Okay. 3LPER1 asks, how old are you, King? Thank you for calling me King. I appreciate that. I am 33. I feel a lot older, not in a physical sense, but I feel like this isn't my first time in this rodeo, you know what I mean? An old soul perhaps, but I am 33 and, you know, feeling pretty good. It's been a good year. Some big moves happening, you know. I overcame a lot last year. Last year was a test. This year, the fucking year of growth, and I'm looking forward to it. Thank you for asking. Stephen Ashford, 79, asks, test and bar. Good combo for strength? I'm not going to give cycle suggestions on here. I'm sorry. That would be negligent from me and potentially dangerous. So I'm not going to be giving this kind of advice in an open forum. If people want advice on these things, there's a service that I offer. I can help you with this in my coaching services, but there are a lot more information that I would need, and there are a lot more things that you would need to consider as well. So if anyone ever has these kind of questions, you know, if it's revolving around my opinion on cycles, you know, I don't want to give too much away because people will take that information and potentially distort it or misuse it. So respectfully, can't answer that. Varems asks, what accessories improve squat strength? Well, good question. I believe that the most valuable accessories are squat variations, such as pause squats, tempo squats, etc. However, outside of that, things like leg press, leg extensions, these sorts of accessories are potentially, we would call them quad builders or mass builders. We do them in a you know, the rep range that is hypertrophy, where we're aiming for muscle growth. Now, when we get bigger, stronger legs, we have the potential to squat more weight, but you must focus on the technique of the squat to truly be able to apply the strength and power that you have. The Hybrid Way asks, is eating babies the secret to being so buff and studly? No. The answer to being so buff and studly is to go to the fucking gym and eat your fucking food and stop worrying about everything fucking else. That's the answer, to be honest. Tom Copeland asks, lifetime strength goals and any upcoming comps. Well, I have already touched on this a little bit. My lifetime strength goals, well, 1100 kilogram total. Here's my next one. My first lifetime strength goal was 1000 kilo total, but I've achieved that. So my goal is set again. I would love to deadlift 420 raw. That would be cool. And I really want to bench 272.5 kilograms, which is like 600 pounds. In competition, that would be really fucking cool too. But apart from that, there's competitions that I want to attend. For example, Giants Live deadlift competition. That's kind of a strength goal. That's something I'm looking at down the track. So for now, the 1100 kilo total, that is what I am chasing. My next comp is Revenant in Queensland. Lali36 asks, biggest lift in comp? Well, 1050 kilogram total, which was 415 kilogram squat, 252.5 kilogram bench press, and a 382.5 kilogram deadlift. At 140 kilogram body weight, my biggest lifts in comp. Fadi Kouri Official asks, how did you heal from your bicep tear? Well, my friend, patience. I focused on what I could do. I kept my body as strong as I could. And then when my bicep tear was healed, I started to progressively overload it and I'm starting to get stronger again. Now luckily it was a partial tear and it wasn't a full tear. If it was a full tear, I would have had to get surgery, but I narrowly escaped that and I am truly grateful. Mike78 ABC asks, what are the plans for the gym? We have many plans for the gym. Firstly, we are now putting the aesthetic touches on the place. That is a work in progress. We are adding some more equipment soon, some machines and some dumbbells, and potentially another bottom lift in the near future. The Cult merchandise store will have a place. There is a physical shop front now for the Cult merch store, which will be completed in the next couple of weeks. I'm very excited about that. And that's a place where we're going to be producing a lot of content and things based around that. We will also be holding powerlifting competitions. Our first one being August the 5th is the Capo Meet Conqueror of the Coast. It's going to be a fucking big one. And we also hold fortnightly seminars and workshops for all of our members to help educate them and, create better, stronger, more educated lifters. Jake Franks too asks, how much emphasis do you put on overhead press? Well, when I had my little foray into strongman, there was a heavy emphasis on it because I put no emphasis on it with my powerlifting. Now, I should still be putting some emphasis on it, and I am again now because it's still important for the bench press. However, I've suffered from some shoulder injuries. I've had a shoulder reconstruction and actually re-broken it since then, and a lot of overhead work really does flare my shoulder up. So I do have to be careful with the amount of volume that I do. However, I am putting in the work now that allows me to get through a small amount or a decent amount of shoulder work without being in too much pain, which overall will help my strength. But if you're doing powerlifting, your emphasis should be on the bench press, but we shouldn't neglect our overhead press. However, it's probably reversed if you're into strongman. Your overhead press will come first, but you shouldn't neglect your bench press either. Mike again asks, what is your ideal rep range for isolated biceps and tricep exercises for hypertrophy? Now, Mike, you normally ask some stupid questions, but this is two decent questions, so I'm going to answer both of them for you. No offense to you personally, sir. When it comes to biceps, I like to blow them out, I work between 10 and 20 reps. That's about it. A bunch of sets, a bunch of reps, some heavier, some lighter. In saying that, the 10 reps, it's a heavy 10. It's not taking the piss 10. I'm not saying you should go light, you should still push, but I think 10 to 20 rep range, and also some frequency. Arms react well to frequency, so 2 to 3 times a week, hit your arms, and 10 to 20 reps is the rep range. Get it done. Watch your babies blow up. Something like that. People are going to need a ticket to the gun show. That's what I'm saying. Okay. Arnie Snorwat. I'm sorry if I said that wrong. I probably did. Apologies. Low bar squat. Bar tilts to one side. Is this by a lack of mobility in the shoulders the best cure? Partially, yes, it would be a mobility issue. Also, it's an intent issue as well. Sometimes it's also just a bar placement issue. Now, I do definitely recommend that you work on your external internal rotation on both sides if you're having issues getting under the bar evenly. I think healthy mobile shoulders will help your squat tremendously. However, sometimes I've seen cases where people just aren't aware and they're just not cranking down on one side the same as the other, or the bar has just been placed slightly off and during a set of move because they actually aren't keeping tight. Now, maybe just take a bit of each of those and work on your rotators. Make sure the bar is in the right spot, and if you see something, really emphasize trying to fix it, crank it down harder. If you do all 3 of these things, you'll get results. All right, guys. Now onto YouTube. Now, a little while back, I put up a post and asking people some questions, and there were a couple of questions, so I'll answer them here. Death Rattle Cowboy, he said, "You're an inspiration, man. As someone who struggles with BPD, it's good to see someone killing it that knows what it's like." Well, sir, I appreciate you saying that I'm an inspiration. I do like to try and help people. That is something that makes me feel good. It makes me feel like I have some purpose. So I really appreciate that. Now, with BPD, as you probably know, it's a volatile motherfucker to deal with. And let me tell you right now, I might look like I have it worked out, but I don't either. It's a constant battle for me, and I'm constantly putting in work. I'm doing a lot of meditation, shadow work, reaching into the depths of my soul to work through things that have traumatized me in my past, that have affected the way that I am now. I need to work through these things to be able to become better. I'm not going to accept that my brain is broken forever. I don't accept that. I believe that I can get better, but I believe it takes work, and most people aren't willing to go through hell to see the light, because the light is in hell. I mean that, okay? I have found spirituality. I have Satan, I have Lucifer, I have Belial, and they are the light for me, the guiding light. When I'm in the darkest of pits, when I'm struggling, I notice and I see what I'm doing, I become aware of what I'm doing. I'm so focused on the outside. I'm so focused on fixing the pain, on distracting myself from the pain. But what you must do is seek within, go into the darkness. Now for me, I speak to these entities. That's what I do. You might think I'm crazy, and that's cool, but it's for me. And they have shown me the light. You know what I mean? That is illumination. That is knowledge. They are teaching me. They are showing me. Okay, now for you, maybe something different. It may just be Jehovah. It may be Jesus. I don't care. I'm not going to judge you. But find peace within yourself. Close your eyes. Be at one with yourself and work through the things that hold you back. Stop being a prisoner in your flesh. You are not BPD. You are not that. Okay? And you don't have to be that. That's my message to anybody out there that's struggling with that. Now that's pretty fucking deep. But yeah, I'll reiterate, I don't have it all worked out, but I'm trying. And I'm always willing to share anything that may help someone with it. So get to work on yourself. That's my advice. Michael Fisher asks, how do you find out the best way to squat for your own body structure? Well, my good sir, trial and error. Do it, apply the right cues, externally rotate from the hips, drive your knees out, try to keep an upright torso, keep a nice strong upper back, keep your eyes slightly up, try different stances, sometimes narrower, sometimes wider. If you find that you're struggling to hit depth and you tighten the hips, or you're getting internal rotation through the hips, maybe you're too wide. You need to be in a position where you can still externally rotate, where you can hit depth with your knees out. You don't feel like you're being limited, obviously, by tight hips or something. Now, if you're someone with tight ankles, you might want to apply a lifting shoe, because that is again a way to squat for your structure. If you have poor ankle mobility, they will help with ankle mobility. Okay, so there's so many answers for this, but you're gonna have to find what works for you. Now, if you're the coach, your coach will identify that for you. Okay, everyone's so different, so I can't sit here and say, do this. I need to see you. I need to help work with you, see what you need. You know what I mean? So it's the best I can give you for that. But thank you for the question. Well, all right, guys, that is it. I had fun. I hope you enjoyed this. I do want to do this more often, so please, whenever you have questions, drop them. And sometimes what I'll do is I won't answer them straight away. I'll save them, I'll store them, and I'll try and do this at least fortnightly. I think that would be fucking cool, or something like it, you know what I mean? I would also love to start doing lives, so if any of you guys want to jump on a live, potentially I can do that, on a Friday night, once a week. We can have a chat for an hour. That'd be sick too, but I'd just love to hear, who's going to be on there. If we get a bunch of people, I'm happy to do that. But thank you for tuning in. Please subscribe. Please share this with your friends. Share the link around. I really appreciate it. But until next time, go to the fucking gym and take some time for yourself. You deserve it.